68%. That's the percentage of Americans.
Go listen to the stats he provides about how bad it is for Americans, that if how many people, if something life-changing in a negative way happened, how many people would be just really out bad. The thing to add to this is it's not an accident. It's not a condition of things have just become so horrible because. It's not a point of our economies doing that horrible and that's why. It's by design. Other content creators have talked about this. It's by design. They want the average American, and these numbers correlate too. He says 68% of Americans. And as I did in a video a while back, we were talking about the number of people who are below middle class. It's like 65% at the time, the numbers I pulled from. But 68 tracks with that. And this is by design. They want you to be fearful for your livelihood. Corporations do, and the people that are on top do. Because if you are afraid that your life will be just damaged irrevocably because of a financial crisis, you will keep showing up to those crappy jobs. George Carlin used to do a joke about this, if anybody remembers. He said the middle class gets most of the money, or the rich get all of the money. They do none of the work. The middle class does all the work, takes none of the benefits, and then there's the lower class, which is basically just there to scare the shit out of the middle class to, keep them showing up to those jobs. Pretty sure that's pretty close to what he said. That was back in like the 90s. And that trend has continued. They're going to keep you working crappy jobs under the fear that if you don't, you're going to lose everything. And everything's going to be kept just expensive enough that you can never get ahead, never have savings, never retire. It will get you to scare your kids into doing the same thing, because really, what other option do they have? So no, it's not an accident. It's not a point of we can do better. It's not any of that. Everybody knows this. It's the point that this is the way it's being kept. That's it. With false goals put in front of you. And you see people chase these really ridiculous dreams of running on a Tesla because that's what's pushed to them by the guy that makes all the money by grifting them. And this is why we see so many of the things that we do. This is why so many people chase money so hard. This is why scams are so big in the United States. All of this is a result of the way things are being kept. And it really is a sad state of things. And as I've talked numerous times before, the things we would need to do to stop this, nobody's willing to do. We had a part of it with COVID when everybody stopped working, or when a majority of people, I should say, stopped working, but it wasn't enough and it didn't last long enough. We are going to have to do things to such an extreme to send a clear message, but most people are too afraid to, because again, they're afraid of that livelihood. That's why it is the people that were protesting against working in bad conditions due to COVID, they couldn't sustain it, and why some people wouldn't join. Granted, there's that sliver of people who think they're high and mighty and we're just anti-COVID, but compared to the amount of people that could have done something, that's a small number. And there are too many people afraid. I have to keep showing up. I don't pay my rent. I'm going to be out. And again, to reiterate, I know this is difficult. I never said there wasn't going to be a risk involved, but we as a people do have to band together. If we could do that, we might be able to do better. But again, too many people are afraid, and fear will always be the ruling portion in these things. So how do we fix it? We're going to have to stand up and do something about it, but we can't get enough people together. And as a lot of other content creators have stated, once we do start to do that, there is going to be heavy opposition. You're going to see them come after communication. You're going to see them come after our livelihood. It will happen because they don't want that system upset. The people, the elite wealthy, like it where it's at. So unfortunately, I wish there was more that could be done. I myself am a victim, so to speak, of the COVID stuff. And I say that because I was fired during COVID for unjust reasons, but it was masked under something else that I couldn't go after the company for. And as a result, around Thanksgiving, it'll be 3 years of being unemployed. My unemployment ran out about a year and a half in. No jobs have come through. I'm pretty sure that employer's badmouthing me. I'm going to keep saying that until I get a different answer. I am trying, but it is exceptionally difficult to get that portion figured out. But I just can't believe at this point and I counted through putting out 341 applications in the course of what's going on 3 years now, that nothing has come back. And if you guys are going to say that number's low, okay, I appreciate that. But the job market is really crap right now. And it has been for a bit. Nothing really rebounded well after COVID. was done with as far as everybody concerns me with. But yeah, I'm not even sure what to do. I'm at the verge of losing my house at this point because I really just don't have any money left. Trying to figure out house payment, which is lower than any rent I'm going to get. I am trying to figure out bills that are coming up. I live pretty close to the bare minimum. I've explained this in prior videos. I've done breakdowns of bills based on what I make and then based on what the national average is, all of those things. And yeah, I just, at this point, I don't know. It is such a weird turn of events, but not unexpected, you know? So I don't know what to do anymore. I really don't. I'm not alone in that. I know there's plenty of people that are there. Anybody else, feel free to comment. You know, if you've been unemployed for going on 2-3 years now, feel free to leave a comment. Let me know how many applications you've put in, how many jobs you've heard back from. As another caveat for all the people who say pound the pavement, that doesn't work anymore. Secondarily, I have tried to get a hold of hiring managers, and that seems to be something you can't do anymore. I've already known that though. I made a call today to one of the jobs that I've applied to recently here, and was like, is there a manager I can speak to? And I want to show my enthusiasm for this position. I'm really looking forward to trying to get into a different position. And they're like, yeah, no, nobody can actually talk to the hiring manager. So yeah, real fun stuff. So what's your experience been, you know, after COVID or even during? Did you lose your job as a result of COVID, but your employer lied about the reason for firing you? Maybe you're like I am in an at-will or a right to work state or at-will employment state, something like that. Let me know, you know, what you've experienced. Be glad to hear your story in there. If you're not making videos, maybe you should.